This is London with Bitcoin Spot, guys. Excuse me. Just had a sip of water. Excuse me. Just had a drink of water, guys. I hope you're doing well. We're going to go over the market action on Bitcoin. Last night was a little bit tough down there. Guys, on some exchanges got down to 25,000, that golden pocket area. We're going to go over the details. Of course, we will talk about the utter demise of Luna. Boom. Impressive chart, guys. Just goes to show that you can never, ever be too careful in crypto. $120 all-time high. They're about $120 all-time high. Bam. Always be prepared, guys. In terms of your risk protocol, okay, in terms of risk protocol, looking at USDT.D, we'll discuss this flat top ascending. This ascending line of support on the weekly, and whether or not we have a price target incoming, which would give us essentially where would we be looking for positive prices in crypto. We'll discuss potentially SHIB. We'll discuss Doge, of course. That's a favorite for VIP and guys, our top level of membership. Just wanted to get together with you guys a little bit here and see if we can get a good trade on BTC. If you guys are trading, or if you're not trading, we'll go ahead and jump into that mode. That's what we like to do, trade in terms of, let's see what we got. Darlene Ruiz. Hi, Darlene Ruiz. I hope you're doing well, Darlene. It's been a while since I've heard from you, Darlene. How is everything going? Darlene is a sweetheart and a former VIP. Darlene, we would love to have you in the back again, and I hope everything is going really well. Definitely hope everything's going great, Darlene. It's good to see your. A lot of people drop in to say hi after a while, and you're a nice name to see. And I hope everything is going well with your trading, Darlene. Without a doubt, and we miss you in the back. So if you'd like to get involved in the back again, we would love to have you in the back, Darlene. Sincerely stated by me, and I don't always say it that sincerely, but it's just the truth. Anyone is welcome to join again who has joined. And we'll look at the details here in terms of the rising wedge feature. The rising wedge feature, okay? This is typically a bearish pattern. They're difficult to beat, all right? And in terms of that, we can also talk about essentially what else we're looking at right now. I had scoped on the screen just a second ago as we look for a good entry, all right, whether it be a long or a short. In terms of BTC, we had a nice target. Guys, we had a nice target here at that 29,215. They're about 29,135 to be exact. This target right here, we had this as a target earlier on in the day, and bam, we did meet that target. Very nicely done by VIP and the back. Shout out to the VIP who are trading, and hope you're doing well. But that was a nice move from that golden pocket. Very impressive. Getting down to that golden pocket just on the micro interval here, this kind of micro range here, but a 4.17% move as we look at the entirety of the range, low to high. Boom. Golden pocket hit. We got that that target level reached. Congratulations to the VIP. And guys, in the back, that was a 392%, just one trade from a few days ago. And they're not all that brilliant, but that was an incredible trade. But in the back, we're constantly going over targets, constantly going over. You'll see here with the target identified. That target was there for a while in the back. So I'm providing targets to the guys in the back, looking at good trades, guys, trying to up the game, up the trade game of the VIP. Which is not easy because some of them are really good traders. I have to say that without a doubt. And we would welcome you guys. Please hit the like button. Let me know that you're here. Darlene, it's a pleasure to have you in and around today. And yeah, old school VIP. We'd appreciate you joining again. And I know that maybe you're just stopping by to say hello. Maybe you're not trading. I'm not sure what that would be. But I hope you're doing really, really great in everything that you're doing. And looking at a level of resistance, level of support. We're trying to dig in and find ourselves a nice trade. That's what we want to do. I always like to just get together with VIP. We can talk about things. We have maybe some discussion, but really I like to get together and find a trade, right? Let's see if we can find a trade that everybody can get involved in. Looking at the preceding level here, because we're constantly doing that in the back all day long, right? And it's nice when we can get together and do that, right? It's really nice when we can get together and just say, hey, okay, let's trade. Let's figure out a trade. That's what we're all about. So when we can get together and do that, it's wonderful. Looking at that rising wedge feature here, it was tough trying to get up to this target. Couldn't do it, and I booked a trade right here. Didn't catch that larger move from that golden pocket. Had a few things to do, etc. But yeah, that was a heck of a move. That was a really, really nice move. And let's see if we can put this this rising wedge into context. Typically now we're going to see that a rising wedge again, like this one was bearish. The first one here was bearish, boom, to the downside. Typically, I'll just say they're difficult to permanently operate up above. You guys know that. Maybe that's the best way to say it. They're difficult to permanently, right? Just permanently, there's going to be an operation level above something just permanently, right? We have a bit of deviation in terms of this level of resistance, right? Because this here would be also another rising wedge feature, right? So this has pushed into, and that's a little bit problematic as we would look at this preceding rising wedge in this zone, right? We're looking at this rising wedge, problematic. Let me go ahead and redraw this wedge as we see some higher prices, guys. Not bad in terms of that 29,270, 282, looking to push back at that $30,000 level. And in terms of the, I think in terms of the psychological effect of, like, what are the traders right now being invited to look at? You guys know we've been discussing that. It's like we're essentially establishing a new range, right? If but for a brief period of time, etc. All we can say is that yes, it feels like BTC is establishing a new range. And that's very important, guys, as we would look at the kind of the psychological impact of that. So we have kind of a secondary wedge here. This triangulation, I'm going to say that the triangulation underlying is bearish, okay, because it does have that, and I just have to say because of the preceding triangulation here, boom, to the downside, this one has completed to the upside, showing a little bit of differentiation in the market. But looking at this secondary feature here, this rising wedge componentry here, it is certainly something that's going to be difficult to permanently operate up and above, guys, meaning at least we would have a retouch back into this apex area, if not a decline further than that, is what we see based upon the data. I think you guys know that. I hope that you guys are doing well on your altcoins. It's a great lesson just overall not to be overexposed at any higher price. And definitely, when I say that you're willing to own something down at lower levels, et cetera, and always with even heavy cash reserves beyond those lower levels that never get touched, right? With Luna, I think you guys just see some of the language why I use it in terms of like even beyond the lowest level of your let's say your capital involvement of your reserve capital, that you would have an additional always heavier cash reserve that never gets touched, right? You just can't afford to be in that group that just gets laid waste to. That's just very very difficult to watch that go on, guys. Very difficult to know that is occurring and that occurred. And it's just I wasn't a fan of Do Kwon. Just wasn't a fan of that management, and all but really griped him out a few times here. Just tried to maintain my decorum, but it just was one of those things that I think a lot of people saw the writing on the wall. Shout out to Cristobal. I want to shout out to Cristobal. And let's see. You still have your book. Good, darling. That'll be great. We're looking forward to having you back in VIP. That's great news. Thank you. That's awesome. You won't trade again until you be in VIP. That's excellent. Excellent. And we're waiting for you. Want to let you know, Darlene is a good old friend. We are waiting for you. Here we go. Waiting for you. And I'll put this in. You let us know when. Okay, Darlene? We will be here. So looking at the framework of where we're at, let's go from the 1 minute to the 5 minute and kind of zoom out just a touch here. Looking at this expansion that we have with level of support and level of resistance, there are a few different interpretations right now. Neither of them is real clean. I want to just let you guys know that BTC is not being extremely compliant in terms of Fibonacci's right now. A little bit pushy here and there. Not allowing. It seems like she's got the radar on our precision, on our need to be highly precise. Just want to let you guys know that. The patterns are a little bit lackluster. Okay, they're not real attractive patterns as we would look at the 30-minute here. This is an odd feature, guys, to deal with. Unless we put this in the context of something up and above, looking at the this specific framework up and above, if we put it in that context, it's great. We still have some upside targets. They're unfulfilled upside targets. I'll just tell you that they are unfulfilled upside targets. And to the extent that they're still upside targets, they're just going to remain either upside targets that will be abandoned or that will be fulfilled, right? We have a kind of an orphan target wedge at the top here that has not been fulfilled at the 35,111. And you are welcome, Darlene, without a doubt. You're very welcome. And you just let us know when it fits in the schedule. We would love that to happen. So you let us know when you can make that happen. That would be great. So looking at the, always looking for a flat top. Let's start that approach and see if we can schedule into a potential ascending triangle somewhere. Let's see on the hourly, it's close. What do you guys think? And shout out to the VIP. I appreciate you guys being here. Darlene is an old VIP. And she went through some business transition, I think, and restructured some things and is getting some different stuff together. So don't feel shy about being in the chats. And Darlene, you know that's typically VIP space that you're in there. So just to let you guys know, she's an old friend and went through some business restructuring. So what I will say is good luck, Darlene. And we will focus on trading for VIP. And Darlene, you get back to us whenever you're ready. You can DM me at any point in time, okay? You can DM me at any point in time to fulfill any questions or anything like that, okay? So looking at the and give us updates on business, everything else that's going good, family, etc. Looking at this descending line of resistance, I'm trying to put in something into the framework of our having any kind of a flat top, maybe an ascending triangle. We just don't have it right now. Been looking for kind of a structured, nice structured, I'd say a nice structure like the previous zone, preceding zone. As you guys look at this preceding zone, yeah, we had a nice triangulation before it got really ruptured, hammered, and boom to the upside again. That was a big move, guys, and that was an incredible trade. That was at 354%. I bought at this level of support, and yeah, that was a really great trade. That was really nice. That was one of the best trades of the week. And looking at the current framework, like I'm trying to establish another. Because that was a very clear symmetrical triangulation. I'm trying to establish another clear framework for us to trade with, for us to look at, and I can't really put a nice formation together for us to really focus on. It's just along with the Fibonacci's. I mean, we have a triangulation that's a little bit. It's a little bit like we had a nice symmetrical triangulation, right? It's a little bit defective, this triangulation here, to the extent that we don't have, equal angles here amongst the level of support and resistance. It's nearly a flat top. It approaches the category of ascending triangle. So it's to the extent it's defective / hybrid, what it may be, guys. Looking at this is very important to realize that. Bar none, this is not a symmetrical triangulation. It's not an ascending triangle either. So we have to categorize them correctly to ensure that we're maximizing our probabilities. And let's look right now in terms of this, going back down to these lower levels again, and you'll just see that, yes, that was nearly flat, right, on those larger time frames, but it's even less flat as we get into the specific lower time frames. So it's just, it is, as we would include the difference between this level of resistance and this level of resistance. It's just not it's an imperfect pattern, right? So we note that, and we're, prepared to take that into account is the bottom line. The ideal thing about perfect patterns is you just kind of know. It's in your gut. You understand. You're ready to trade. Everything feels good, looks good. And right now, we have a few. I'd say we have a few, issues with Fibonacci's pushing or not pushing. This looks like it was a nice hit into the golden pocket, so that we will take. And I want to just look and review that hit into the golden pocket. Boom. That was a nice hit into the golden pocket. Let me make sure that it actually got there. Did it actually get to the golden pocket? No, it didn't get to the golden pocket. Wow. I want to really look at this. Did it not? Let's go down to the bottom here. There we go. Down to the bottom. Down, let's say up to the top. I want to see, did it actually get to the golden pocket on the candle wicks? No, it didn't. It did not get down to the actual golden pocket on the candle wicks. So yeah, reinforced yet again. And I had taken a break. I booked a trade here earlier. It took a little bit of a break from this level. But yeah, once again, guys, BTC being a little bit pushy. Definitely something we're taking note of in terms of the pattern formation. Yes, a little bit pushy in terms of the Fibonacci's. Yes, still, guys, a little bit pushy, just like mean programming going on in terms of the price action. I refuse to believe that all of the participants decided to step up their price targets up and above the golden pocket. That's just not. That doesn't make sense, guys. So, to the extent that we have some program pricing or just kind of a bit of a battle on the hands of the traders, we're noting that right now. Ascending wedge operating over the top of the ascending wedge. Difficult short area because at times you'll get a secondary pump feature up and above this level of resistance, even though it's a bearish pattern, right? Definitely the best to get involved from that golden pocket area. And just noted, VIP, we note this, that the golden pocket did not get touched. It was close, but you had to be aggressive, guys. You had to be aggressive on that golden pocket entry. We like, I just have to say, especially if you're on leverage, we like, really highly precise, technicals. Looking at the preceding level, look at this 50% retracement. The 50 carved all down on through the 50%. That 50% retracement is right there. Bam, all the way through. Look at that deep dig beyond. So it made people hesitant, I would imagine, from this golden pocket, and then they just picked up early. So that's what I'm talking about. Just a little catchy in the market, right? A little bit catchy in terms of that price action. So yeah, we'd like to identify a trade. Do we have a short? Let's see where we're at. Do we have a short? Do we have a necessary long? Wedges are tricky to trade. I just tell you guys, it's kind of okay if you decide to ride through a wedge, right? Normally we look, can we find a always looking to see if we can find a fan around a wedge, right? A rising wedge. The fan formation is something that typically can beat the a fan formation can beat a rising wedge. Now, to the extent that we really have a nice fan formation here, I'm not seeing that, guys. It's not a fan reversal in process. It's just not. It looks like we have a few failures of patterns in terms of the rising wedge here. And we have a hit on the Fibonacci with, I guess, an inverse head and shoulders would be the best I'm seeing now, right, in terms of that inverse head and shoulders with a bit of the first, I'd say the first and the most prominently featured pattern that I had initially was the descending triangle. And it even is not that well, I'd say, conceived in terms of just, it's one of the descending triangles. It's literally just like it's a head and shoulder and a weight. It just is, from the left shoulder to the head to the right shoulder, and it's really a failure of a head and shoulders pattern. It's probably the best way for us to look at this. BTC was coming into that left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder, and that pattern failed. And the buyers look like they have definitely picked up in this zone, and we're up and above this specific line of resistance. Now, this is nice because we will have a target. If you're currently involved in the price action, congratulations. We will have a target at this level, okay? And that will be an interesting retouch. Let's see here, an interesting retouch at this prior level of resistance. Breaking out of this pattern would be nice. Let's look at the 5-minute in terms of the expectations. That's lining up not too poorly. That's lining up not too poorly in terms of at least giving us an expectation in terms of an amplitude that we could work with. I'll say that. It may not be a perfectly featured on, I think the hourly is demonstrable of that imperfection of the top level of resistance. But if we were to create, let's say, somewhat of a move here, we do have this feature in the I'd say this very lackluster or very just non-desirable, guys, in terms of this level of resistance cutting through a potential breakout of this pattern. Were we to just view this as a triangulation, right, we would see the amplitude carry up move as being made a bit difficult by this this overall line of resistance across the top. Very important. So noted. Okay, just note that, guys. That externalized, I'd say, feature in terms of that level of resistance above is something that we definitely want to pay attention to. So, in terms of in terms of the strategy here, right? Would you hedge? Right? Would you hedge? Would this be a time to hedge? Would you hedge yet? Let's see, guys. Now, the question is going to be if you decided to hedge, meaning go long and go short, right? The question is going to be, at what point in this price relay here would it be most advantageous to hedge? Any thoughts from VIP? At what point in this dynamic, whether here or up in here, right? Of course, it would be the higher you go, the more advantageous it would be to short, right? And the okay, in terms of just having our downside price target, period, right? And in terms of that, would you build a position of shorts? Would you structure in your orders on the shorts? Okay, is it just a flat hedge? Is it a straight hedge? And I talk about hedge, it's real easy. Do you want to buy and sell it at the same time, right? Very easy stuff, guys. It's not as complicated as it sounds. I know that it sounds like it's something that you can never understand, or it's just way out there, right? I wouldn't look at it that way whatsoever. So in terms of that, we're currently at the golden pocket on the extensions. Okay, we're currently at the golden pocket on the extensions. Would you build in your shorts? Boom, 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 boom. All right, that would be the preferred way to handle this situation in my book in terms of extensions to the upside. Build in your shorts, right, with different levels of capital. If you want an all-in approach, that's usually where your problem starts, right? When you say, well, I just want it to be, I want it to be, I want the right answer. Okay, good. You want the right answer, right? Well, the right answer is more strategically complex than more often than not, just so that you know that. People who trade a lot know that the quote-unquote right answer involves multiple levels, right? It's going to go multiple levels in terms of the ability to take advantage of price. And most people, will think about, okay, the ability, yes, you have multiple levels at which you may want to take advantage of price to the downside from the upside, right? You have multiple levels that you may want to take advantage of price to the upside from the downside, right? In terms of your retracement levels, right? So someone who wants the easy answer doesn't want to hear that, well, there's a retracement at the 50% in the background here in blue. If you can see that, make sure this is on a big screen TV. But as you look at this feature behind, most people don't want to hear of this 50% retracement of the golden pocket, right? They just want the answer. Is it going up or down? Well, you have different levels. You have different levels of entry. Right? People are scheduled all throughout the market to enter at the lower levels. Maybe they didn't get picked up this time, right? It's just the function of the market. So looking at the framework here, we can let's delve into this specific issue here. This is a nice expanding, I'd say, wedge in this feature in the middle of the rising wedge that looks to be performing quite well. Looks to really be performing quite well. That's interesting. This specific area in here is different than anything we've dealt with recently. I think you guys will agree. This area in here with this differentiated preceding rising wedge, then the secondary rising wedge is really different than anything that we've dealt with recently. Just very interesting in terms of the technicals that BTC is producing. As we continue to push along the top of this level, it becomes interesting to would you enter a short and then double down on your short? That's an approach, right? Would you want to carry at all? What if, I'm going to bring up the hypothetical just so that you don't think this is easy, okay? In terms of, well, what if you got up to this level of resistance and boom, just blasted off in your short? Just what if you were liquidated? What if you were liquidated? I want to bring that up to you guys. It's a real concern. Yes, we see a return to even the peak or apex of this, right, frequently, which would count as a level of confirmation back on this level of resistance. Sure. What if that became parked down within this overall trajectory here after a breakout here, right? You never want to go too far into a trade, or I say so far into a trade that you've lost the ability to really, I'd say, comfortably exit, whether or not you're planning it or not, but comfortably exit, or that, guys, we just don't want you, getting hurt at all. I tell you, 100 rounds, go get in 100 rounds. See how you can do with 100 rounds. See if you can book trades positively. So we're seeing, I think, kind of another real aggressive, very interesting on this. And I'm just going to assess this micro as I kind of answer the question for me and for hopefully us if we're getting into. If you guys are already trading, congratulations. Looking at this, looks like we have another rising wedge feature. A little bit of an odd price structure here, but a bit of a rising wedge feature there. The second question is going to be, okay, you want a short or you want a long, but at what level of leverage do you want to operate? I think that's a very fair question. At what level of leverage? How many levels? Because this is the second. This is just the concurrent after a pretty pronounced failure of a rising wedge here, just setting the traders up, right? That rising wedge here, boom, to the downside. And then we have we're being baited into this specific micro rising wedge in this area up and above the rising wedge feature, just to line this out so that we can determine. If you guys are already trading, congratulations. Way to go, guys. This level of resistance, level of support, that rising wedge feature, as we would look at that, we're just being baited to operate up and above this with another rising wedge. It's really a phenomenal, circumstance where we're beating the probabilities at this point, okay? And just the general expression of what the rising wedge should be. I'm happier the higher this should go up and above, to tell you the truth, up and above this apex. That would be my preference, is for this to get up and out, okay? I like these to operate well up and above this apex and then to potentially return to this region. That's how I like to trade. So I find more probabilities once these do get up and above and the price action continues to operate to the upside. Then I find a high probability in returning to these levels that have kind of been vacated and remain on the minds of the traders. Like, man, we just left what should have been a bearish pattern down here. It's like the market has a good memory of that. If you guys understand that, the market has a good memory of the bearish pattern down here that just didn't quite get fulfilled. It likes to return to said pattern, and not all the time, but we find that frequently. We had that just starting off in terms of this area here, right? This target level even reaching this zone in here. We even getting back up to this level from the golden pocket, literally getting here was a target for the VIP. Period. Just right up to here. So in terms of the additional, that's fine. VIP, congratulations if you guys hit this target here. Bam. That's important stuff, guys. As we would look at this from the golden pocket, boom. And you did have to play aggressive, I have to say, on the golden pocket, it's not being very friendly. But that's a big potential move there. Just noted, golden pocket being a little bit difficult, right? In terms of it requiring you to play aggressively. And in terms of that upside target, though, this is the type of targeting situation where to the downside, we would look at another circumstance where, for me, if I were looking at let's say some sort of a target affiliated with this area in here, okay, in this zone, that the further I could get down and away from it, the more attractive this target would be. The return to this target would be fantastic, okay? There's more money to be made, okay? So to the extent that the buyers are going to push up and above and completely lay waste to the rising wedge, I'd like them to really do it. I'd like it to really get going, to really set up my target to the downside appropriately. If you guys looked at Ape, remember Ape, right? Ape was hugely to the upside, beating every rising wedge, boom, 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 to the upside, right? We talked about shorts on Ape. It recovered each and every one of those bearish features that the market just couldn't get rid of, right? Couldn't get out of its mind, like, well, below there are those bearish features, right? So we pay attention to those circumstances. I'd say the probability of retrajecting into that prior patterning, right? So we just it's a big mainstay in terms of VIP. We really try and come up with features that are probable in terms of those target formations. And we started this stream having achieved one that we talked about for hours in the back. Really, that specific triangulation to the upside, we talked about that for hours. Really did. And what is this? Trading pairs. There we go. So Binance is delisting Luna, and It seems like the renegade Quan, just what was he doing? Anyone you tell this story to, everyone's like, "What was he doing?" Like, I don't know, man. It sounds worse than like an impulse, worse than an impulse buyer, right? Just like what purposeful malfeasance? Not sure. In retrospect, just if you have the cash to back up your coins, etc., that's fine. If you don't, just then you don't. And I'm not going to miss that culture. I'm just not going to miss people being called lunatics and things like that. I'm not going to miss that. That's okay. The overall, it was it had some potential without a doubt, and it just seems like the more that Quan got involved, I'm big on the management team. The more that he got involved recently, he started acquiring Bitcoin as his key cash reserves, along with altcoins. And some of the altcoins were strong, had good potential in the future, but just the levels of volatility, I'm like, it just seemed a little bit too cyclical for me. I was like, it seems quite cyclical, right? So, looking at this level of resistance that is about to come into the framework here, it's very close to actually having come into the framework. It's close. We're nearing. An interesting zone here as we're looking for a trade, right? Would be a gutsy short at that level, right? I say gutsy because shorts are always, guys, they're always risky. I'm just going to say that because the market's kind of particular about who it lets short the market. And in terms of that, just understand if it bit you, it may not have just wanted to reward you with bragging rights that you decided to short it, right? On one of the exchanges. Oh man, last night was just crazy. We had so much. I appreciate that, Jubal. He was talking about market slop. There was market slop. I thought that was a price slop in between the exchanges. It was bad last night. And I need to talk to you, Sean, paging Sean, VIP. I need to talk to you about which chart we found that replicated L Bank price action. I need to talk to you about that because yesterday it was awful. It was down in the dirt past the golden pocket. Still correlated somehow, but the overall price feature was awful. I have some charts in the back showing that we were down in the golden pocket. So some of the exchanges got into the golden pocket. This is getting tempting for me to say I want to short, guys. It's just getting tempting. I look at that. I'm ready to short, guys. I really am. Looking at that, just the longer we suspend up and over this specific level, I just want to retouch this level of prior resistance. I'm at least going to start measuring. What would my payoff be? Payoff about a 50% move. It's close, guys. I'm looking. Do I want to short? This is London with Bitcoin Spike. Hope you guys are doing well. Shout out to the VIP. I know you guys are trading, and I know that you're paying attention to your levels of exposure. I know that you're working on booking trades. All of this goes in the experience category in terms of understanding your levels of exposure, right? Understanding issues that include leverage. As I started the 100 rounds, I'm very excited. Guys, we were, often racing doing 100 rounds worth of trading while Bitcoin began to to lay waste to the market, right? We did catch that drop, by the way. That was nice. Remember that line of cross resistance we caught? Very nice. Nicely done, guys. And I want to shout out to all the VIP. Hope you guys are doing well. Today, as we look at, what's the day? Thursday. Man. I forgot my training shoes at the club today at the gym. It was just, it was rough. So I had a free excuse to go swimming. It was nice. I hate when I forget those shoes, man. Just have to go straight to the pool, do some laps, relax, and just spend some time in the sun. So yeah, that short was looking a little interesting to me, and didn't push the button. I didn't push it yet. I'm watching. I want to see what she wants to do. She's been a little grabby to the upside. To the downside would be interesting. I'd like to see her fulfill a little bit of additional pattern expectation for me. Again, I get excited about these when they really traject to the upside. So I become interested about this level, the 50.5 in terms of the percentage move possibility. I'll look at it. Would like a little bit more than just 0.5 potential move. Looking at the framework, let's dig into the 15-second and take a look at where we're at. Looks like we have a bit of a bull flag ongoing, yeah? A little bit of a bull flag. If she wanted at least the structure of the downward sloping the downward sloping channel, right? And this upward, movement here in terms of that should be a bearish rising wedge, which is this is typical Bitcoin right now. I don't know what she's doing. We're watching these patterns. I'm trying to provide you guys some cool stuff in the back in terms of VIP. I'm like, what the heck is this? We have a rising wedge with a bull flag on top. It's just choppy. There's nothing nice about it, But don't let it frustrate you. Don't let it frustrate you. In terms of that, guys, just always. And let's look into here. Do we have a secondary? Let's say rising wedge in this zone. We do, and it did operate well, that rising wedge, boom, back to that apex, and then up into a secondary one. So we're just printing rising wedges right and left. Very important. See if we have any underlying rising wedges that went unnoticed. And let's see. It looks like I can start from this direction, and it looks like we had a bit of one in this area that got capitulated into the framework of, but we did beat this one, didn't we? Looking at this, we did beat this. Now, it's not that strong of an angle to the upside, and it does require this hitch. It's kind of imperfect at this level. Could have even been an ascending triangulation that was muddied up, made into a rising wedge feature, into a greater rising wedge feature. We got into the apex of this here. I'm really interested to see whether or not we will hit back into this zone here. I'm real interested on this. This would be kind of I'd say a yellow target in terms of just level of interest, etc. I'll just make this yellow for the purposes of distinction. It's not real clear patterning. There are several different interpretations at that level, but I'll mark the 28697 just so that we go through it. I think you guys can appreciate the complexity of that arrangement down here. There we go. There was that short I was looking for. Payoff maybe a little bit tight. That's why I prefer to get up and over quite a bit. Could have cut the top, been really aggressive. That would have been about 100% trade on 125x. But looking at it, I'm still in the hunt with where she wants to go. See if we can find. And I hate that because I guess maybe my preference for getting up and above even more on top of a rising wedge just kind of demonstrates a level of selectivity that isn't necessarily required, right? You guys don't necessarily need to be that selective on your trades, but to the extent that you choose to be, I don't think that you'll find that it's a bad thing. So that short is definitely one that we could have had, right? We came to trade to the extent that was a trade. Yeah, it's definitely one we could have had. I got my trade materials out here and was just about to hit the button on that. Decided not to. I just decided not to. If you guys shorted, congratulations. It was a nice short. Nice move of the price action. If you guys hit that target to the upside from the back, congratulations. Nice price action. Let's go ahead and look at where we're at instead of trying to formulate an upside target. Let's look at where we're at. And having failed this feature here, let's go into just, now you're seeing that just level of attraction of that preceding line of resistance, right? Preceding line of resistance. And this expansion move here, we're just in terms of that mid-level feature at that level. Looks like we came into contact with that 786 on the extensions. Okay, so kind of discussing shorts to the extent that you guys are actively trading right now and watching, and that you're not VIP, that you don't have badges and all that good stuff like I've asked. I would appreciate you guys having active badges and being a part of VIP if you're actively trading, because I know that must be important for you guys to be a part of the team that you're trading with. And if you're not part of the team, you're not part of the team, right? I've redone the faceplate of the channel a little bit in terms of the numbers on the background, the green, the everything else, just kind of, I don't know, just kind of switching it up a little bit, providing some ticker tape in the background, green. That's look cool. That would look great if the green were everywhere. At least we get to see the green ticker tape here on the channel. Haven't seen too much of that in the overall markets. We just haven't seen a whole lot of that. And I'm just hoping you guys didn't get too hurt on some of these other coins. So Harmony 1 has been down. Phantom has been destroyed, it seems like. What else has really gone down? Sheeb has just really gone down. What else has really gone down? clearly Luna and some additional coins have just really taken the toll to the downside. To the extent that it's nice to see some rebound potential in there. I believe that most of that rebound is people who have already decided that, well, it's a long-term investment. They're when you run out of, I just tell you guys, and just people I've talked to, when you run out of ability to inject more capital at lower levels, when you run out of that ability and you just start saying, well, it's going to be a long-term investment, and you're underwater in it, it's that's no fun, guys. So a lot of people were hyped about a few of those coins, and it just was an issue that what did we say that was that it just requires heavy cash reserves, and it's not. It doesn't go without saying that's just that is the fact, Jack. Now, there's the nice completion of the short that we could have had. Now it's looking like a genius play, right? Now it's looking like, of course, you should have shorted there. Yeah, well, we had a little bit of room to get back up to the level of resistance across the top. We just did. So I wanted to see essentially if we could get up to that. In addition, I'd like to get a little bit more room on top for my short. Would just like a little bit more room on top for my short. Looking at this level of resistance across the top, if I were to lay out the specific levels on the candle wicks, and please pay attention to this, guys. If I were to lay out the specific levels of resistance across the candle wicks, I would we would show that we have a this gap, this area here that just really wasn't achieved. So for me to become really interested in this, I would have liked to have achieved that level along the resistance. Buy at support, sell at resistance, or long at support, short at resistance, right? So in the framework, we might have hit that on some lines, some frameworks of the lines that were in play here, certainly. However, I would have liked to have just hit that very simply, not too much to ask in terms of, like, look at the number of hits. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Okay, so in terms of that, I would have liked to have hit that fifth time and to have been a part of that buy at support, sell at resistance, or long at support and short at resistance. So what have I missed? Really nothing. I preserved my ability to continue to maintain my standards that will operate with what I've chosen to be a high level of probability. So that's what my level of discipline is. Okay, we did have the upside target that played quite well. In fact, getting to this level was a nice move for VIP in the back. You guys had this level for hours, just getting from any lower level to this upper level. Now, this downside target here is an interesting thing to begin to focus on as we're making some headway to the downside. Right, this specific target at this level at the 28,697, it's identified as a yellow target. It just is. It's not a green all systems go kind of target. Still, green all systems go can fail, guys. You can have an abandoned target without a doubt, right? It just is what it is. I'll tell you that. It's just we'll work with the probabilities, and the market will decide to work against you or me at any time it chooses. It will do that. That's the level of risk involved. So we didn't quite reach that level of resistance, right, across the top. We just didn't get there. So I'm still in the hunt for an additional move, an additional trade. And let's see what we have. Level of resistance, level of support. Kind of an expansion of a channel framework with this triangulation in the midst thereof a potential breakout. Would be frustrated by that upside level of resistance there. So a little bit of green in the market for a moment. That's nice, with BTC up 1.36%. Boy, the traders would like to continue to have BTC up, okay, and not back down in this zone. Now, there are a lot of traders who feel like they deserve the right to go down to the 26,000, 25,000, 24,000. We are so close to the golden pocket. To Rob, I'm going to tell you guys this. You have to even ask this, guys, as some of the exchanges were permitted to go to the golden pocket and other ones were not. Guys, this should not be a routine for hedge fund arbitrage, wherein they will operate on certain exchanges and achieve that lower price. You understand, guys? It should not be the case for crypto. So the fact that some of the Bitcoin has sold in the golden pocket region, okay, at literally at golden pocket, on some of the exchanges. On other ones, it hasn't been offered at that price. Guys, that's an issue. That's a big issue as you talk about the ability to operate in the market at a fair level. That just it's not nice, guys. It's nothing to whoever is setting that up. It's a little obvious, isn't it? I'll say that it's a little bit obvious as we would look at that. We want to participate fairly in the market. We want others to be able to participate fairly in the market as well, and particularly with exchange restrictions. Okay, either in U.S. or outside U.S. or this and that. There's no reason to shop privilege amongst nations or amongst citizens of nations who, or those who cheat and break the rules. There's no reason to shop privilege like that out for specific exchanges and have benefit go to either foreign nation for no reason. I mean, is it for? That's the problem. Whoever would set that up, they wouldn't have a good logical clue as to why they set it up. They'd probably reinforce it with something. But I've heard, a million bad excuses if I've heard one. So other than just allowing the participants to have an equal shot at the market. So yes, this would have been a nice short. We're discussing that. I'm a little cautious on shorts, guys. I just am overall. And we didn't really hit that level of resistance across the top. We just didn't. So I am fine. We'll look at a downside target here. The downside target is something that could carry in that zone. A hedge could have been possible. We were at some, I would say, those levels of extensions across the top that I had laid out. Those extension target levels to the top are something that, you could schedule in your cash and your shorts at those levels. That would have worked out perfectly to that 786. You guys know that. So, in the to the extent that I'm streaming instead of, and how do we have that set up? Streaming instead of, what would I say? Really typing in orders for multiple levels of the. And how we had these worked out. Let me actually zoom back to that because I want to make sure that I get this right. Exactly how we had that 786. I don't want to change that if at all possible. To the extent that some of this becomes a bit more, what we say, just complex in terms of order entries, etc. It's just something that's just preceding low to high to low here, and that's just on the 15 second. Okay, we had laid it out on the 15 second. But yeah, that would have been a nice approach in terms of those shorts to the upside. So, but yeah, that requires full ability to interact on the with all hands, all systems go. It is a little bit you're going to be required to probably not be chatting with a group and etc. You're going to be required to really bring your A game in terms of your level of functionality to whatever technical platform that you're engaged in terms of your trades. Just is the truth, guys. And let's see what we have. No comments, no anything. Let's look at the market. And yeah, some of these coins, man, just down, right? Like down, looking like capitulation could be in order for several of these coins to just be washed out. It's just been an interesting day. Luna, of course, UST down 66%, Luna down 94%, and looking at the some of the other coins just really took a nosedive there with a strong enough day that were there another day or two like that, you're really going to be beyond a quote-unquote value zone. You're going to be in some potential hurt territory for a potential long amount of time on several of these coins. You guys know that. The hurt territory is noted for a lot of the coins, a lot of the traders, okay, who had favorite coins and this and that, and yeah, that's an easy area to get hurt in as the buy the dip mentality gets tested, right? That buy the dip mentality has been tested in equities. They was that, I believe Wall Street Journal had that title. I like that title a lot. Buy the dip mentality has been buy the dip mentality has been certainly tested in the overall broader markets. So looking at the framework here, let's get into the additional the additional features and see if we can find an additional trade here ongoing. With level of Fibonacci's, we've just looked into the level of extensions to the upside, right? And let's see how we can play this. We see a nice expansion here with this reverse triangulation, a nice move to the upside, right? That played very well on behalf of for the traders. Not that big of a move back down. You say, well, it would have been a great short. Really, about a 0.5% move that we looked at a potential short. A little bit more. If you had really caught the top there, about a mid-level entry would have given you about a 0.5, maxed out 0.8, 5 to 9.9. Looking at Fibonacci's right now, I have these Fibonacci's in blue. They just started to bother me. Everything was green. I don't know why. It was just like everything was green. And maybe I was a little too zoomed in or zoomed out, but it was just, I don't know, it just became a little bothersome. So looking at the framework of this rising wedge here, right? Very, very important to look at the essentials here, okay, in terms of not only the internal patternings that are going on. And guys, this always looks best on the big screen TV. You guys know that. If I've said that multiple times, you're still not on a big screen TV, get it done. Guys, easy stuff. Just get it done. Let's look at the interim or this intermediary range function of the Fibonacci retracements versus the extended range function of the retracements. Let's go ahead and look into that. Let's assess the feature here. Will we have a variable level of the retracements, the target levels, or are the participants comfortably on only this intermediary short-term view of these targets, retracement targets, okay? That would always be an assessment I would want to do as we're trading. Assess the intermediary range and assess as we get a little complication throughout the price action in terms of the targets, whether or not they're pushing down into levels of the 50% retracements, right? Pushing beyond, making that a little bit difficult for people in that trade who are watching, right? Who are looking for a precise entry, then failing to get into that golden pocket per se, falling a little bit short. As we see those levels of complication, they alert us a bit. I'd say they make us a bit more cautious, just with a reasonable degree of understanding. Just, you know, it's we're seeing poorly behaving technicals, so we're going to be a bit more cautious. That's just the bottom line. That's no problem. I am always paying attention to the market. Kind of the mood of the market is it's being friendly, it's being unfriendly. It's something we can deal with, or man, this is just out of control. Be very careful. At some point, we'll go to like code red if things are just you know, we went code red before that big drop here recently on BTC to the downside. It's just BTC was angry. You guys know that. She didn't want to be talked to, touched, or looked at. It was just, you know, in terms of technicals or trading, it's just like, okay, fine. Just she's in a red zone. Just leave her alone. And sure enough, boom. That was a big day to the downside, wasn't that, guys? That was a huge day to the downside. We've got a few really highly volatile kind of moments here. And so looking at the pickup on this 38.2, what is that? Yeah, it's going to be the 38.2, the second level down. We're being invited to trade potentially long on a hit with the Fibonacci. Let's look at this in terms of the hit. How big was that? About a 0.4%, I think, capturable, about a 0.3, 0.4% hit. Unless you're on extreme leverage there, it's going to be difficult to book that. You can, but it's not going to be your cup of tea other than just booking a positive trade if you're working on booking those trades, right? We're going to be looking at the next level down, the 50, right? And let's see if we can maintain this structure of this channel formation. That would be an interesting structure to maintain, and would be a nice level to hit down into that 50% retracement. Nothing is guaranteed to hold. Golden pocket would be below at this level of support. That would be nice. This level of support for that to hit and for us to establish a channel framework to the upside would be very nice. I hope you guys are all doing well, and that for those of you who decided to buy Luna at $1, I'm just sorry about that. I know that a lot of the other, you know, real popular kind of reckless influencers were recommending that people get involved in it, and I saw that. I did some research and saw it, and I really felt that was a shame. I really thought that was a shame, and So they're on the record as having done that. And I certainly don't get everything right, but to the extent that I brought up the example of the bicycle that had been run over by the garbage truck. I'm not a buyer, you know. You can just I didn't want people to lose money on it. I just told you from the higher levels I wasn't a buyer at any lower level. So once the debacle began, and to the extent that money was wasted on that, just I guess money is what money is. So if you choose to waste it, you waste it. As long as you don't need it, or other people around you don't need it. And normally, if you ask other people around you if they would need it, I'm not talking about me, guys. I'm talking about people in your family or someone else like that. Normally, they're going to tell you yes. So it's kind of an interesting decision if you just say, well, I'm just going to waste it in the market. Always consider people around you, etc. I think that's fair enough because I don't know. It's just bad. It's bad Luna. Bad Luna. And I don't like saying, well, the VIP invested in it or this and that. I don't like that. That's not VIP. That's not the that's just not VIP, guys. It's a failing technology. It's not VIP to invest in that. Sean made a joke about investing a pack of diapers into it. Literally, that's fine, Sean. That's cool. I take that very with a very good grain of salt. That was hilarious. Like, I'll put a price of a pack of diapers into it. Literally, just that's fine. But people, just it is what it is, right? So. In terms of the framework here, let's focus on this instead of on defunct tokens. In terms of that, I'm not really sorry that happened because I think it's a good reminder of what can happen in crypto. The need to have always heavy cash reserves. That's just it. I just think that we get quite a view in terms of the potential for for projects just to be so poorly managed by individuals who come into the foray and decide to make it theirs, right? To chart the new path, kind of like super ego takes over, and super ego into just a bad construct is just I don't know what it is, but it becomes pitiful to watch. Level of retracement below would be nice to hit. We're probably into some Fibonacci's from the preceding level of breakout in this zone. I'd say from this specific zone, some Fibonacci's, some retracements up into, and we're into this 55-minute. I like to find a trade. I just do. We're at that 786 right now, and potential short up and above at this level. Okay, that would have been a great short if you guys chose to take it. I did not. In terms of those shorts, they could be a little touchy up and above a level of resistance like at this zone, and I just didn't hit the target of at least resistance across the top. I like to buy at support, sell at resistance to the extent that we never hit the level of resistance across the top. I like to go long at support and short at resistance. We just didn't hit this level of resistance, so my short did not indicate, and I'm fine with that. If I have to wait till tomorrow, if I have to wait a whole 24 hours before I decide that trade meets my requirements, I'm going to wait a whole 24 hours and see if I can get something that I can buy on support or sell at resistance, or long at support and short at resistance. That's the bottom line, right? So just not in that big of a rush. We'd like to come live, but to the extent that we didn't achieve a hit, it's indicative of what Bitcoin has been doing today. I've been notifying the VIP that, yeah, she's been a little bit touchy on her technicals, without a doubt. So we are noting that, okay? And I guess the stream is a good demonstration of that, because we didn't even get to that top line of resistance, just up and over. A little bit more value as well would have been nice on that short. To the extent, however, that VIP in the back were working up towards the target that was identified by me earlier on, boom, this target up and above, you guys, congratulations. That is a huge success. And I did take profit very near this level. Okay, so not the full maximized level here, up in this zone actually, back towards this target level. And as we would look at this, it's just it was indicated it was close enough. We were in a bearish pattern earlier as we were working our way back up, and I went ahead and took a small trade. Not bad. For those of you who rode it out and hit that target level, I am excited. That is VIP. That's what we're doing in the back. If you guys aren't doing that in the back and you're just kind of watching, you need to be trading. That's the whole idea, guys. you need to be trading. So wait to hit that target. Getting down into now, as we see, getting down into a framework of, let's get out of this. Let's see, the prior breakout down in through 786, down in through 86. We have this wedge feature, which is wanted to creep into the mix here. We'll just take a look at this. Let's stay a little extra time here instead of that hour. I'd like to find a trade in an hour. I guess we did, but it didn't hit the level, it didn't activate the trade. I guess we started with a trade ongoing, guys, for you guys with that. I had already booked mine, but to the extent that you guys were doing well on hitting that target, congratulations. Now, in this falling wedge, yeah, we have some potential for target action on that wedge, without a doubt. And I want to shout out to all the VIP. Hope you guys are doing well. Since there's not much interaction here, I'm going to go ahead in the back and I'm going to display those features to the VIP in terms of these levels, in terms of where an entry could be or an exit could be or a target could be. I hope you guys are doing well in your trades. Okay, this is a secondary, just looking at this, kind of a secondary feature of a wedge. Boom. To the extent we're in another wedge formation, keep that in mind, as well as potential targets to the upside if a wedge were to fail. I have a cautionary kind of downside target right now, and I hope you guys are doing well. We appreciate all the VIP. If you show up and you're not VIP, guys, you're not VIP, and there's no reason for you not to be VIP. With all the stuff you go on, all the money you waste in the market, all the probably bad trades, you not even looking at a target, there's no reason for you not to be VIP. I just don't agree with the, well, I'm busy with family, well, I'm busy with such and such. You're busy not being VIP. And you can excuse it a million different ways. Everyone does when they decide that they don't want to follow the rules, discipline, and consistency presented by, top shelf traders. But that's where things go a little bit quiet, right? In terms of that, that's the bottom line. I understand things happen in life, but they happen mostly around your performance in the market. And I say that not specific to anyone in this stream, just overall and generally. And our membership is exclusive. The time and interaction in the chat is exclusive. It just is for VIP. So I keep it that way. So I'll go deal exclusively with the VIP in the back. And we will look forward to hanging out and chilling in the back, guys. This is London with Bitcoin Spike. And congrats if you did hit the short here. And if you fulfilled the target here, congratulations. If you're going for the downside target here, man, that's a gangbuster of a downside target, guys. Man, can you imagine getting back down into this zone? Man, that would really, really be something, guys. That would be amazing if we would get back down into that 26.5. Man, that would just be amazing, wouldn't it? What an opportunity for acquisition if we could get back down into this zone. Would really be phenomenal, guys. This is London with Bitcoin Spike. Hope you're doing well. And VIP, shout out to me in the back. Let me know what you're doing. And if you have any specific questions, targets or otherwise, let's go through them. And I'll be at your disposal. And I hope you'll be at mine. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much. This is London. Talk to you soon. Hey, Aaron, what are you doing? You just sitting there, Aaron? Man, come on, Aaron. I hope you hit a target, brother. Man, we want you in the back, Aaron. Come on. Aaron pops up at the very end. He says, hey, what's up? Yeah, see, I get happy when people say, what's up? That's cool. But Aaron, man, we're in the back. We're hitting targets. We're doing good stuff. Upgrade, Aaron. Come on, dude. You got to get in the back. We're trading, bro. See, I get in a better mood when Aaron shows up. So, yes, to everybody else who's like Aaron, chilling out in a good mood, etc., what's up, Aaron? I appreciate that. And, yeah, we're going to keep hitting those targets, my man. We'll talk to you soon. If I get in the mood, I'll stream later. I'll just do that. And I hope you guys are doing well. And, yeah, go book those trades, Aaron. We'll talk to you soon. Upgrade, my man. Upgrade. Get in the back. There's no reason to not get in the back. Be VIP. You can do this. I mean, you're in